Frankie. How are you doing?
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Doing good. How's everybody doing?
I think everyone's super excited.
Oh
Ready to
yeah.
come on with their pencils and paper ready.
Oh yeah. Today should be pretty fun. We're gonna be when we kick it off, we're gonna be working on some back to a little bit of the basics. We're gonna get more into just characters, doing some emotions, building out a little emotion, an emotional grid. So it should be fun. But yeah, we'll give it about another minute, and then we'll kick off. Make sure if for all you guys hanging out in the stream, make sure you get yourself some pencils, some paper, some crayons, or if you're working if you have a digital iPad, definitely fire it up. Get ready. I got and check it out. I got a cat on my head. I was like, so I had this on for a couple of my work calls. I was like, yeah, I just got a cat on my head.
That's awesome. Oh my God.
So I got a cat on my head now.
Everyone needs to start doing that more often.
Oh yeah, it's fun. Yeah, when I was at Dapper, we were doing all our Zoom calls, and then finally one of the managers was like, "You guys can't do that anymore. It's distracting everybody." And I was like, "Oh, that took the fun away." Cool. So you guys are all ready to get into it. See, I'm slowly working up my stream situation. I gotta give me a good camera and a microphone, and then I'm gonna have like a cool custom designed UI around all my stream.
Look at that setup.
Yeah. So, what's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're at. We're gonna do some art school stuff. We're working on character design number 2. Should be pretty fun. We're gonna be working on building out a puppet sheet, as well as looking at emotions for creating different states of characters. And we're gonna rewind it back a little bit. We're gonna do a warm-up exercise first to get us started. So what I want everyone to do on your paper is we're gonna start out with just building up a couple of things. I want us to work on practicing just drawing different parts of the face. So what I want everyone to do is we're going to take about 5 to 10 minutes doing this, is on your sheet of paper, if you can, draw out, oops. So on your sheet of paper, go ahead and draw a big X, or big T, I guess. So what we're going to do is we're going to split the paper up into 4 sections. We're going to use this as our map for our warm-up. So what we're going to do in the first box, we're just going to draw some, we'll write head shapes. In the second box, we're going to write eyes. Down here, we can put noses. And here we're going to put mouths. So what we want to do is we basically want, in each one of these boxes, we're going to try to draw 10 or more different, in the first box, head shapes. In the eyes section, 10 or more different types of eyes and noses and mouths. So I'll show you guys some examples first. So here goes a set of different eyes. So when you're drawing your eyes, you can just do like a circle eye, or you can do an eye with eyelashes. So you can just do a simple circle eye. You can do a set of 2 eyes. So you can make 2 eyes like this. You can do eyelashes on your eyes. You can give a big eyebrow. You can make the eyes more of a square shape. You can make the eyes more cat-like. And the same will go for noses. So we'll practice noses, just making little shapes like this. We'll practice doing a nose with a nostril, and then we'll look at different nose shapes. And then when we get to mouths, we'll do the same. So what we're going to start out with is we're going to start out with head shapes. So in that first box, I want everyone to start drawing out different head shapes. So you can think of, well, we have like a head shape that looks like this, maybe. And then maybe a head shape that looks like this. And let's just start by doing that. So I'm going to pull up an example. Here goes some cool, fun head shapes. So try to draw at least maybe like 5 or more head shapes to start in that first box. So we can look at doing a head shape that kind of looks like a peanut, like this. You can do one that has more of a pointy chin. You can do one that has bigger cheeks and like a little tiny head. Let's see, what other variants do we have? Oh, we have one that has more of a square jawline and kind of a big forehead. So just to start, let's warm up by getting our head shapes drawn. So we had just a circle one. We had one with a more of a pointy chin, like an alien head kind of. We had one that was, let's see, we had one that had more of a big forehead, kind of like Squidward, kind of looks like this. It's got like cheeks and a forehead. We had like a little chin, like a pointy chin with like maybe a big forehead. This is like what's that guy's name? Mastermind. What else? Let's see, what other kind of shapes? We could have more of a wide shape. We can draw one with like a little head and some cheeks and like maybe like a little chin. Go back to our oval face. Maybe one it's got more of an angle like this. Maybe it's looking this way. And let's see, we'll do one more. So I have 9 total. So we'll draw one more. We'll make like what do baby heads look like? They're kind of like got like little cheeks, like a squished peanut kind of. Okay, so now everybody, you have your head shapes. We're going to just map out using a big cross to figure out where the eyes sit on the heads. So in this one, like maybe the eyes sit about right here. On this one, we could say the eyes are a little bit higher. Here, the eyes, they can be about in the middle. Here, we can say the eyes sit about right there. We say the eyes sit, well, those are the cheeks. Maybe the eyes sit about here. We could say the eyes sit all the way at the top. We could say the eyes sit here on this one. This one, we could say the eyes sit about right there. And then on this last one, we could say the eyes sit about right there. So now if you draw a line down the middle, this starts to give us more of a reference of where our facial features are going to sit on these little mock heads. So everyone should have something that looks roughly about like this. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to be building up basically facial features to start making puppets for our character design. And really, this is an exercise practice, just getting multiple shapes to build your characters from. So let's move on to eyes. Okay, here's the example sheet of cool little eyeballs. So again, we can do some that look like cat eyes. We can do some that look like have big eyelashes on them, like this one here. We could do some cool eyelids down the middle. We can do more round ones, like those would be like baby eyes. You can get a little bit more stylistic. Remember from last week, we had like the Adventure Time eyes, or just little black circles like this. So on our sheet, back to our reference sheet that we're building, let's start drawing some eyes. So I'll probably do like maybe like 10 set of eyes. So I'm gonna do just standard. I'm gonna do some like big long ones. I'm gonna put some pupils right there. A little trick when you're drawing your eyeballs, when you draw the pupil, draw a circle or an oval, and then draw a little circle at the top. That's where the shine is. That's where like the highlight goes. Then you can imagine this is all black. Really, really easy way to draw your eyes. And then for conveying a little bit more emotion, you can add even more highlights in there. So you could even draw one at the bottom. So you can imagine like in a cartoon, this would be this would just be fully white here. And that kind of will give you like that little sparkle in the eye. You maybe have one at the bottom. So in our eyes that we're drawing, we'll just draw those little highlights. Just like that. So we're going to draw a bunch of different eyeballs. So I'm going to draw some long ones like this. I'm going to draw some, let's see, we had some that had eyelashes. So maybe we have some that are like little circles like this, maybe a little bit spread out. And then we can draw like some little eyelashes on it. With another little pupils. We had some eyes that we have like the common Adventure Time eyes that are just little black dots. That's an easy one that you can always use. When you're drawing eyes, now let's see, what do sad eyes look like? Sad eyes might look like, let's see, they might have like a little bit of eyelid going this way because it's sad. It's like, oh, little tears. Or what do happy eyes look like? Happy eyes, the eyebrows are up. And maybe there's an eyelid at the bottom. Like, I'm excited, I'm happy. So you can see how adding a little bit of the eyelid here, like on the top, you can convey sad or angry. Adding eyes on the bottom, you can convey like happy or excited. So let's use a big line like this, go up to the side, and let's draw some little eyes poking out the bottom. It's kind of like a Nike swoosh. Let's see, let's look at our cheat sheet. Ooh, we got some, this is a cool one right here. It's got kind of a square look to it. So let's try drawing some square eyes. Oops. Getting ahead of myself. Okay, some square eyes, like, oh no. Maybe they're like a little bit square. And they'd have like the pupil that goes right here. Notice how sometimes when I draw the pupil, I have it overlap where the eyelash or the eyelid is, and then I can just erase that. And that kind of gives the effect that eyelid looking out over the top. But maybe there's an eyelid here, and these are a little bit more square. And then again, we can add that little highlight in. Let's see, who's else eyes that we can draw? Disney eyes. Disney eyes kind of they kind of go up like this, and they're flat at the bottom. So they're kind of like that Lilo and Stitch style. So go like this, and then you can draw like a little pupil at the bottom. That's cool. You can imagine you could have eyelashes. So feel free to go crazy with eyelashes. Feel free to go crazy with eyebrows. Let's draw some angry eyes. So we're drawing the eyebrow kind of here. Maybe it's like a eyebrow is like covering the eye a little bit. And then here's the pupil. Sweet. So everybody should have a sheet that looks like this, maybe even a little bit better. Hopefully a little bit better. The Adventure Time eyes are interesting. Oh, here's another set of eyes that you can do. This is kind of like how Club Penguin does theirs. Is they don't draw them separate; they connect them. So it's just like one connected eye. You can like a little invisible line right down the middle, right where the two kind of overlap. But it's not visible. And then it follows the same rules, where it has the two pupils. So that's a fun one to draw. So that's like a connected eye, right? And then you have your different separate ones. So let's see. We draw one more. Let's draw like this one's sideways and this one's up. Like, what kind of emotion is that? Maybe like, like, like wondering about something. Okay, noses. So let's look at our cheat sheet. So noses are interesting. So some cartoons draw the nose really, really simple. Some go a little bit more detailed. You can see in this part, this illustration here, like this big nose is a little bit, has more of a bulge on it. It kind of goes up, there's a bridge, it goes here, and then there's a big long nostril. So the shape of that one is quite long. Versus this one is very stylized. It's almost like a bird nose. And then maybe like this would be like a bad guy's nose. And you can even see sometimes the nose is very simple, and sometimes it even goes up. Like this is kind of like the Disney princess nose. So noses, all different styles of cartoons draw them different, right? So like SpongeBob's nose, kind of like it goes out like this, and he has the nostril. But you can also draw noses that are just like a simple little, or you can go all the way by drawing the bottom of the nose. And a very simple rule for the nose is it's a circle, and then it has little circles on the outside, and then where the bridge is. Then when you erase, it starts to look like a nose. See? So, let's see, this one probably goes up. So we can draw different noses. Let's see, let's draw like a big villain nose. Maybe it looks like that. From the side, maybe from the front, it looks like this. It's got like a big bridge and then some nostrils on it. Draw the little nose holes. Maybe there's a pointy nose. Maybe there's just a circle nose. Be like this is what like a clown nose, or even like a cat nose. Cat noses are triangles, and then they have two little circles, half circles in the middle, and like a little line. It's kind of like a cat nose, animal nose. You can make your dog nose look like that. Let's see. Let's draw a big round nose. Draw. This is one of my favorite ones to draw. Like very like the misadventures of, is it Flapjack? Flapjack Adventures. Kind of looks like a hand. Then we have, let's see, we have draw some couple more. Here goes more of a long nose. Some little nostrils on it. Again, you can erase out. Oh yeah, little flapjack nose. This is like how they draw like the. Oh, I used to love that cartoon. That was like one of my favorite cartoons. And then yeah, sometimes the nose could even be simple, just be like a little bump. All right, cool. So now let's go to mouths. So let's look at our cheat sheet. What do we got? One of these sheets. Oh, check this out. All right. So mouths can be all over the place. You can draw teeth. Notice in this one, they kind of, this is like a real big smile with a lot of teeth in it here. Like this one's pretty cool. Mouth shapes, they can vary all over the place. They can be round, they can be more of a triangle, they can be square, they can have teeth, they can have no teeth. You can draw them with lips. You can draw just the lips, or like mouths are all over the place. You can draw teeth, you can draw like just, a tongue, you can draw sharp teeth, all over the place. So mouths are a lot of where you can get a ton of emotion with your drawing. So let's practice a couple just to warm up. So the most easy, simple one is just draw a couple little cheeks, right? Now we can take that, we can expand on that, and we can add a bottom, and maybe like show a little bit of teeth, and maybe some top teeth. So a really easy mouth. Maybe a mouth is like, ooh. It's like an open mouth and it's got some teeth. Show a little tongue, maybe one cheek. Draw an angry mouth. Notice with the angry mouth, the top lip or the bottom lip kind of jets up. The bottom lip, and really the angry mouth is showing the back of your teeth. We could draw a sad mouth. That's an easy one. You could draw just two little lips and some big cheeks. that's like the flapjack Adventure Time. That one's pretty funny. You could draw, let's see. You could draw more of a sly mouth. Or let's draw it this way. So mouths, definitely, and the same with eyes. You can get a lot of emotion. Notice, like when we were drawing the eyes up here, like we had sad eyes, we had excited eyes. Same with the mouth. Is the mouth can convey a ton of emotion. Yeah, let's draw one with its tongue sticking out, like wah. Maybe there's like some top teeth. You could draw a singing mouth. Would be like little this. Maybe there's a couple cheeks. Using cheeks and using things like showing an indent of the lip are good ways to just add a little bit more detail. You can add like little lips, little cheeks here. Kind of helps you with getting that emotion across. Emotion in your drawing is really about just the direction, whether you want things to flow up or you want things to flow out. Drawing with this, you can almost think of your cheeks kind of function like that. So like if you just draw just a hint of a mouth here, you can imagine where the nose would be. You start to build a face. Or if you draw, a little smile here, you can see that, when you start to add teeth or a tongue, you can imagine like what direction that face is going. So when we looked at that last week, when we were looking at, was it Jerry? Yeah, when we were looking at Jerry, his different facial expressions, like sometimes it'd be squashed, sometimes it'd be really stretched out long. So that exaggeration in animation, figuring out where your direction goes. If your direction is shooting to the side, like the top lip, you can imagine like the bottom lip probably shoots to the side. And then when you start to tighten it up and add teeth, there you get a mouth. And you can imagine where the nose would be, where the eyes would be. So you can start to build up your faces that way. But we're just practicing with these. Let's draw some lips. Let's draw a little smiley with just little easy lips. Here. Let's draw another one. Let's draw some buck teeth. Could be like a chipmunk. Cool. Looking good. All right, so now let's zoom out and check out what we got. Check that out. We got a nice little starter sheet for building up a puppet or a character. Now you could imagine if you were to cut these out, which you guys can do when you want to at home after this little class, is you could cut out the eyes and paste them onto the head shapes, and you can start to see how you can build up characters. So let's grab a little mouth over here. Let's grab this big angry mouth. And I'm just doing this on the iPad, but you can imagine if you cut it out on paper, how you could start to build it up. So you got that one. Now if I use these and I put them on a different size head, you can see how the head starts to change. The character kind of changes, right? Like this could be an angry frog here, or if you put it here, like a little bit smaller, like the eyes can stick out, and maybe he's got like big cheeks. for this one, this like Patrick or what's his name? Squidward head. You know, maybe his eyes sit up here and his mouth is here, and he's just got a really big chin. Or the egg, or this kind of like baby face. Maybe he's got a really small face and a really big head, depending on the character. So check it out. So, fun little exercise, a little warm up. Let me rewind all this. Cool. So now let's look at some of these illustrations. Now that we've kind of drawn some of these, let's look at emotions and the heads here. And we're going to look at the direction that they're going, the emotion, right? So this one kind of looks like it goes like this, like it's two flow points that kind of float in. Like it has like the eyes kind of shoot out this way and the mouth kind of goes this way. That's cool. Like that makes like a little cute smile. Maybe this one looks like it has a flow line that kind of goes like this. This one has a little bit more mouth. So understanding how to do this and understanding how to do action lines within your illustration work will make your drawings look a lot more dynamic. Now, this is something that you have to kind of rewind and start back to the basics. So one thing that I like to do is just draw curves. And from those curves, start to figure out where things can live, right? So like if the smile goes this way, oops, there's like little teeth. Or in that last one, how it kind of like it went more of a pinch angle. You can imagine the eyes being here, there being like a little nose, and then the smile like goes this way. Oops. So these flow lines are really, really important to make your animation or to make your illustration work just look dynamic, look like it flows. So when we were drawing our head shapes in the beginning, we just drew those lines down the middle. This would be for a character that was looking directly at you, right? Maybe they have a little bit of emotion, but how do you create squash and stretch in your head shapes? So let's practice that. So on a fresh piece of paper, we're going to draw heads, but we're going to look at drawing heads that have a little bit more of flow to them. So as I mentioned before, getting in the habit of drawing like, flow lines or curved lines over straight lines will help you build up more dynamics in your illustration. So if the head shape was like this, and I have this line going this way, and I have the line going across where the eyes would be, maybe he's got all nose and his smile is back here, and it looks like he's flying that way. So maybe his hair goes up, right? It might be a dive or something. Looking at drawing another shape, like drawing another head that's got like cheeks, and drawing the eye lines at the top. Maybe he's really, really excited, or she's really, really excited. There's like a little nose. This guy's got like a big chin. It's really about just movement. If the action lines are shooting up and you have your eyes here, maybe the face is really mopey. It's really long. Maybe if the action lines are kind of stretched, going this way, maybe it's because the mouth is really stretched. If the mouth is crinkled up, or the head's crinkled up, and you have like the cheeks, and then you have the top of the head, and the eyes are like, whoa, crinkled. Maybe the action lines are going that way. So you kind of see when you start to use reference arrows and line flows to draw your heads out, to draw your facial features, you start to get a little bit more dynamics. Let's step back last week and look at the character design reference for Jerry. This was probably the best one. So if you look at this, the action lines and the flow lines for him being mad, he's got eyebrows that go to the top, and then he's got a mouth, and then his head. You can see even like what is this, aloof? It's like the flow lines kind of shoot this way, like the chin goes up. Yell is kind of a banana shape, and then ashamed kind of shoots this way. So you can see, like, with these reference lines, ooh, look at tired kind of goes down. So let's jump back. So we had yelling. So yelling was kind of like a banana shape. Maybe there's a little tongue sticking out. It's like, rah. So that kind of, the action lines are shooting this way, and maybe the action lines for the eyes are shooting down. You can kind of use these different action lines to get, you can combine them. You don't have to go with just one, right? Like, we can have action lines that go all over the place. We can have some that like swoop this way, and then these ones swoop this way, and maybe what that is those are the eyes. And then there's a nose, and then there's a angry mouth. And you can see how we can kind of build our head from there. That's like a different emotion you got. We can use these action lines. Now, this doesn't only apply to just the head shape. Again, it applies to the mouths, it applies to the eyes, it applies to even the nose. If a nose is going this way, like, it could mean like it's a little bit snooty, right? Or if the nose is going this way, it could mean maybe it's a sad nose. So you can play with these different action lines and getting into the habit of using lines and flow. When you take character design class or if we move on to anatomy, maybe in a different day, action lines are really, really important when it comes to building dynamic poses. Like, they're so important. Having your head, having your body, and then figuring out where your feet go, all play into, building up really dynamic poses, even action poses where you have like a character like Spider-Man poses. His head's this way and his body goes this way, and he has like one of his legs. Maybe he's got that one hand that goes in the front. Maybe his hand is tucked behind his back. You can see, using this main curvature line, a lot of anatomy goes from what your spine to down to one leg is. So you can map it out to one leg. So you can use the dynamic poses for this. All right, so let's go back. Look at our first little reference of where we were drawing our head shapes. So as mentioned, having a head shape, having those cross lines to figure out where the eyes and the nose live. Right? You can imagine there'd be a nose here, eyes here, and a little mouth about halfway. When it comes to the eyes, where we had very static eyes like these ones, when we started to build up where that direction of action was, we started to get a little bit more emotion. Even when we did the angry eyes, like angry eyes, your eyebrows kind of go this. So you have two lines that kind of swoop from the outsides up to the middle. And then when we did like the Nike swoosh eyes, they kind of like shot that way. So you can see how that we started to kind of play with that when we were drawing up our first set of eyes. When we look at the noses, again, you can keep your nose very simple. You can just draw a little bump. You could even make it go up. keep it. You could even just do 2 nose holes if you wanted. So noses, I think, unless you're drawing something, if you want to go really comic-y, or if you want to go, some character design, even in like anime, they don't really draw a nose. But when you start to draw those, you can also use direction to kind of convey. Like this one was swooping this way. This one was just shot out to the side. This one was just straight on. Now, looking at the mouths, looking at our standard mouth here, where we started to get some action, some direction, like this one went flap. Like the tongue, you can almost imagine that the tongue just went flap. This one kind of shot that way. We had these lines that went from the outside in, and then these ones that went to the upside. This one, the lines kind of go down and out. I love this one. I don't even know what kind of direction these are going. This mouth, that kind of goes that way. Ooh, this one, it kind of goes in from the top, and it goes in, or it goes sideways down to the bottom, kind of swoops up, kind of curves up. So identifying where, even from when you're drawing, but identifying kind of where the direction flows, not only for eyes and mouths and even the head shape, again, will give you more dynamic and more flow. So now that we've done our practice sheet, we're going to look at how to draw out a grid of emotions, and also how to exaggerate those emotions. So on a fresh piece of paper, we're going to draw out our rules for the grid. Again, really important exercise. So across the top, I pulled up an example. We have happy, we have sad, mad, tired, flattered, and spooked. So we'll start with our basics to begin with. So across the side, we're going to write happy. Oops, what was it? Happy. I'm going to write sad. I'm going to write mad. We'll do scared. We'll do tired. We can just start with 5. That works. And then across the top, we're going to give these ratings. So we're going to make 1 is like, he's kind of happy, right? All the way to 2 is like a little bit more happy. 3, getting really, really happy. 4, pretty much almost laughing. 5, full-blown laughing. Okay. The same goes with sad. Like in the first one, sad is just kind of sad, and then it gets even more sad as it gets to the end. And so what we want to do is we're going to use this grid sheet as our rule to start practicing how to really draw and exaggerate our emotions. So you have your grid set up like this on your piece of paper. Again, take your time if you need to redraw it on a fresh piece of paper. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to draw little circles across. So we should get a whole total of 25 circles. These are going to be our heads. So you should have a piece of paper, a fresh piece of paper that looks like this. First person to post it gets splashed with some whale. I'm just kidding. I don't got flash. Maybe I do. I don't know. Okay, so we should have a sheet like this. Let's see how many people on the stream is paying attention, actually following. This is your challenge. This is basically the big homework piece. All right, cool. So as I mentioned, we're gonna start out with drawing just kind of happy, and as we get further along, it gets more exaggerated in the emotion. So let's look at our cheat sheet here and kind of see how this guy did it. So he had just like, okay, just barely happy. It's like the first one. And then it's maybe like doesn't show any teeth, and then maybe it starts to show some teeth, and then it shows a lot of teeth, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of teeth. Same with sad. It's like kind of sad. Oh, maybe he's about to start crying, and then the final one is like, oh, he's really, really crying. And then tired is like, I'm kind of tired. I'm getting loopy. So like maybe he just like full blown fell asleep, and he's snoring. Zzz. So we're gonna practice doing that. We're gonna keep it really loose. But we want to practice drawing these different emotions. And again, starting out really, really simple and then pushing it even further. So happy for our first one. Just draw just a simple little smile. I'm gonna keep mine really simple. I won't do like full eyes. Right. And then maybe for the first sad one, is just like a little bit sad. And again, with this exercise, if you want to go and draw a bunch of different crazy eyeballs and have different eye shapes, go for it. If you want to keep it simple and do more of like just a little smiley man, go for it too. Whatever you're feeling. Mad, maybe mad is like this. Mad is really in the eyebrows. Scared, the eyes tend to get a little bit longer and the mouth gets a little bit smaller. When you're scared, your eyes get bigger. If you ever notice like animals, when animals get scared, their pupils get really big. Well, the same happens with people. Your eyes go from being like little dots like this to really big. And the reason why is because when you start to get scared, your eyes start to expand so you can absorb more light, so you can see more around you. Your body just does that. It's just a defense mechanism. It's kind of awesome. Animals do that too, but you can also express that in when you draw. And you can do it by even making just the eyes bigger and bigger. And then tired, the eyes, maybe they get a little bit droopy. Maybe he's like starting to get tired. But he's still smiling. Cool. So we should have just the first row of just like just barely. So now how does it start to look if you get even more happy? So maybe this one, we start to show like a little bit of teeth. And in sad, maybe the eyes kind of start to droop. Mad, they get a little bit more angry. Scared, like I said, the eyes start to get a little bit more bigger. Bigger. And then tired. This guy's getting really tired. He's like, you can start to exaggerate where the eyes position. You can start to exaggerate the size of the mouth. Okay. So again, number 1, he's kind of just barely. And then all the way to 5, we're going to make it extreme. So getting even more happier. Let's try to blast through this. Maybe the mouth gets bigger. There's a little indent on the bottom eyelid. Maybe sad, it's like the eyes start to get a little bit more droopy and the mouth gets longer. Maybe it even starts to open. Mad as well. Maybe we start to show a little bit of teeth. Just from the side though. Scared. Let's look at our cheat sheet. Got it. Maybe he starts to get scared. He starts to yell. Like, oh, because he's actually scared. And then tired, this one, maybe the eyes start to get like, adding a little bit of eyelid here. Starting to get a little bit more delirious. And then we can even imagine, like, at the very end, let's see what the end looks like for happy. Maybe it's just like full-blown laughing. This is like really, really happy. And sad, or this was sad. Sad is just straight up crying. And then let's see, for mad, maybe so mad he's like, it's all mouth. And he's showing his teeth. For scared, we'll just make the whole thing mouth. He's screaming, oh, and here's his tongue. Oh. And tired. Tired, maybe it's just like full blown asleep. And let's do one more. In between, what does the extreme middle number 4 look like? On the top one, happy, it kind of looks the same. I think we could have probably made him even more happier. I'll just draw it. It looks exactly the same. But hopefully you guys just look a little cool later. Look cool after this. Let's see, sad was starting to bawl. Little tears. Mad. Scared. Mouth is starting to get a little bit bigger. And sleeping. Maybe one eye is closed and the other eye is like hanging on for dear life. About to fall asleep. Cool. That's our exercise. So hopefully, for those that followed along and actually did this, what you want to see is, when drawing these, what I want to try to identify is where the line of action went. Remember, back when we were playing with this illustration here, the line of action. This is, again, kind of like the focus of this second chunk of workshop, is how to use these lines to really make your illustrations dynamic. Not only illustrations that are static, but also for conveying emotion. And even though this is doing these exercises is takes a little bit of time. Doing this, practicing this over and over, if you were to do this, I don't know, 10 times, the 10th time that you did this, you're going to be at like master level with your illustration work. So always try to set up and make time to do these types of exercises. And even this first one that we did, where we drew the eyeballs and the different mouths and the noses, the head shapes, this is a really cool one because you can use this to build puppets, you can use this to build character reference, and it doesn't only apply to different characters, but it also applies to making the same character. So let's jump backwards. Let's see. Let's jump backwards to last week to look at some of these examples. So here we go. Here goes that goldfish from Gumball. Look at all the different emotions that we have here. We actually even have some really cool variants. We have really big eyes that are a little bit more sparkly. We even have one eye that's curved, or one eye that is cut off, that has an eyebrow. We have, here goes that mouth shape that we were playing with in the beginning. Here's a silly one. The eyes are crossed. You draw a silly face. Silly face is great. Look at this one's like, huh? Huh? Smiling with the teeth. This one's pretty good. Yelling. Happy. super happy, excited. Ooh, this one's yelling. Look at that. Look at the way they drew this mouth. It's just like a a little oval, little hoop with cheeks. That one's pretty fun. Sharp teeth. Dah. Look at the eyebrows here. This character is actually a really, really strong character. This entire show, they have amazing illustration and animation styles. But what's really great about this character, I love the design of these characters because they're all head. But like this guy, like when they drew him out, they're like, okay, he's a fish, but then he has like feet that stick out the bottom, and his hands like stick out the top of his head. Like his hands don't really touch his body, and he doesn't even really have a body. It's just two legs sticking out the bottom, and then he's got like a little fin ear and a little cheek. But look at how much emotion that they can get across just with this simple character design. It's great. It's really, 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 really cool. I love it. I suggest to you, all you guys out there watching, one of the best Christmas presents to get either yourself or to get your friend or to get someone who's aspirational artist is the art of books, the art of, I don't know, the art of Gumball. I'm pretty sure they make a book. You could probably even find like the art of the Avatar, The Last Airbender. That was the one I bought my nephew. Every great show and every great movie has an art book usually associated with it. The one that I used to have was the art of Kung Fu Panda. It was amazing. Like literally amazing. So take your favorite movie, whether it be a Toy Story or it could be, I don't know, anything that's like an animated film. And they even have these books for real films as well. Like The Art of the Lord of the Rings was a great book. Like there's art books for everything. What's crazy is they don't sell them in the art section of bookstores. They sell them in the film section of the bookstores. But if you're looking for cool Christmas gifts, they're awesome. So I definitely suggest getting some of those, because not only will you be able to see strong character development, but you'll also be able to see how they kind of scope out these different emotions with their characters. So yeah, that actually just about does it for this call. Wanted to keep it short. I want to focus really and like see some examples of either building up your puppet toolkit like this. Again, try to really push it. Try to draw as many different styles of eyes. Maybe even pop open your favorite cartoons and see like, how does SpongeBob draw their eyes? How does Adventure Time draw their eyes? How to draw eyes from Toy Story? How to draw, really just try to fill up a whole page of different types of eyeballs and do the same exercise for different mouths and head shapes, and use that to build up kind of your little design library, if you will. And then again, if you want to get fancy, you can cut these out. So sometimes what I've done for clients is I've built out robot systems. You can see in this toolkit how they have different ears. They have different size ears, and the noses they kept really simple. The mouths they actually kept really simple, and the eyes. And it looks like what they did was they literally just took these and applied them to different faces, different head shapes, but they changed the variant size, it looks like. But they really just focused on 4 different eyes. It's like a circle eye, more of a oval with like a slouching lid, one that had like an angled lid, and then another kind of like just slouching lid. But then they changed the different sizes. So they have wide ones, tall ones, little ones, big ones. And you can see just by doing that variant, like you can get a lot out of just very simple little lines and shapes. But you can use these. But yeah, my homework for you guys is to draw up a big toolkit, different eyes, different noses. Go on Google. I think probably even the best way to source examples is just check out your favorite tunes. Honestly, check out your favorite tunes. So let's try to draw before we end this, we got about 10 more minutes. Let's draw some head shapes and we'll add some faces on them. And then, yeah, if you guys have any Q&A in the chat, I got it up. I'm reading it. Oh, let's see. We got a question. I'd really love to know more about your daily art practice. Warm-ups are always awesome. I think even the warm-ups that we did just now, drawing the little toolkit of a bunch of different eyes and drawing the different emotion heads, even if they're scribbly or not, like that is it's awesome homework and awesome warm-up because it starts to get you to think a little bit outside the box. What happens is when people start to design out a character, they start getting a little too stuck, right? They're like, they draw some eyes, and then they like draw a nose, and they draw like a smiley face, and then they make like a little head shape. You can only do that so many times before they all start looking the same, right? So when you start to draw out different eyes and you have, a sheet of here's what the eyes look like this, here's what they look like when they're mad. Now when you go to draw out your character, you can start to plan and think ahead, right? So you can, and you always have reference. And so I think just naturally that is always good, as a warm up. Is it fine if the exercise is in semi-realistic? 100%. You can do this with any style. You can make it really loose and cartoony. You could go full realistic. You can go anime. You can go, you can do just about any. But I think it's really just about practice. Practice. And even sometimes if I don't do this a lot, like if I take like a big long break, like 6 months break, and I come back to it, I'm always a little bit rough. So it really is just about consistency and just keeping up with it. So let's look at drawing some more characters. This time I'm going to start with drawing like a head. Yeah, practice is really like can never get enough practice. Okay, here goes a character. Maybe this is a dog. Got a big nose. And we'll draw like those club penguin eyes. Easy. Now that we're all warmed up, it's like when you go to the gym, right? Like you gotta get warmed up before you start lifting weights. You gotta stretch before you start playing sports. You can pull a muscle. That's how art works. You gotta warm up, draw 100 eyeballs, and then you'll be like, yo, I knock it out the park every time. So here's a cool little dog. Let's draw. Animals are always really fun to draw. I like drawing animals probably even a little bit more than drawing people. Little ears. Notice what I did here. I kind of put one ear going up and one ear going to the side. There goes that line of motion. And then maybe we can even think about like what that line of emotion or that line of motion looks like here. It's kind of a funky cat. Move this down. Give him a little bit more forehead. Let's look at using more of these action lines to build up a face. Maybe this is another dog. Kind of a funky dog. He's missing his little muzzle, little mouth. Simple. Actually, let me go in and tighten this up. Or I'll just give him little ears. It's like a squirrel thing. I don't know what it is. Cool. Yeah, so that's what I got. Kept it simple. We kind of went back to the basics. Again, this is really, really important. It also can be really, really silly if you do it right. So that's what I got for you guys. Q&A. Any big questions? What do you guys? What you got on your mind? Or
Feel free to post any questions you guys have.
Yeah, if we the one thing that I think is going to be fun if we do more character design stuff is bodies, right? Not only drawing the head, and a lot of emotion comes from the eyes, but it also comes from just the direction and the flow of the body. Because if you're angry, like your hands might be up and you're trying to make yourself look bigger. Like cats, when the cats get scared and they get mad, they try to make themselves look really, really big. Or if you're sad, you might be, your head's a little bit lower. So emotion not only comes from just flow of emotion and flow of motion, doesn't only come from the facial expression, but can also come from the body. I saw this really great reference image. Let me see if I can post it in chat. Of, I think it's just bags. It's like potato bags. Like, potato bag. Okay, so Googling potato bag doesn't always result in the best things, but things get interesting real fast. So check this out. So I posted this in the chat. So this is emotions in just a bag, in like a potato or like a flour bag. But you can see it's using those same principles of that, how you would draw eyes or how you would draw a mouth, to like really push and flow and change the angles and change the flow directions. So pretty cool that you can even see with like inanimate objects. You know who does this really, really amazing is Pixar. Pixar, even the intro, they have that little lamp. That lamp is hopping along. It's a static object. It's actually an object made out of metal, so it shouldn't bend, but they use those bends correctly to convey emotion in something that doesn't have eyes or doesn't even have a mouth. So using these flow lines, try to make, the Aladdin rug, exactly. Like the Aladdin rug was amazing. The Aladdin rug was awesome. That was probably one of the first ones that pulled that off in like a really, really crazy. There, I just posted it in the chat, the Aladdin rug. Like curious, look at that curious. It's great. His like look, and I love too like how his little tassels are his feet and his hands. It's such great character design, and it's so simple. I think that's where we want to get, right, with doing these exercises is how can you start to build up really, really strong character dynamics and convey emotion in very simple things, simple shapes. That's really the magic, and how you do this is just by using very, very simple shapes, and to stack those shapes up and using the flow and using motion to really bring out characteristics, and to bring out characteristics. So yeah, that's what I got. Again, really good exercise. I hope to see some more drawings in chat. I really want to see someone draw just a big sheet of eyeballs and big sheet of mouths. That's the really, really, really important stuff, and really, really good stuff. So, well, yeah, that's what I got, everybody. I'll be sure. Let me see. I'll post some more things in chat.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming onto the stream with us, Franky. Everyone, there was so many people just posting their drawings throughout the stream. So I think that people were saying that you were making it look so easy, and it's amazing. I'm so glad that people follow through with it as well.
Yeah, once you start practicing this, like you can see how when I'm drawing, and this is just like quick little last thing for everybody, is when I'm drawing, people make the tendency to kind of draw like this. You know, they slowly draw and they kind of etch out, and you kind of go like this, and you start to sketch things to like make up something like, you know, your eyes. You go really, really slow, and then people kind of do this really, and this is years of practice, years and years and years of practice to just be able to wisp these lines. And I think the important thing is not being scared to mess up, right? Like, you have an eraser, like you can get a little bit crazy with it, but just getting in the motion of wisping and working quickly, that's really the magic. And like that's what practice. And again, it's just getting your arm and your hand used to moving fast, and it just makes it makes everything look easy, but it's really, it's just being a little bit more free, just not being scared to mess up, you know, not working too slow. I think that's the big thing, because then you start to draw stuff that looks like this, and then you're like, huh, right? Like, out of these two, which one looks a little bit more fluid, right? The one that's just fast and wispy. Oh, check out all these sketches coming in. There we go. It's good to see. Bean. Check it out. Perfect. Exactly. That's awesome. Fox Yoga, nailed it. That's great. Cool. All right, I'm gonna jump off, everybody. Thanks again. We'll see. Maybe in the next jam, we'll work on doing some really simple body poses, and then we'll wrap it up by combining all these. And I want to see some amazing characters. Get ready for the big showdown in the next week or so. All righty. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Ciao.
See ya.